Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through His holy prophet, through Ali. Amen.
Islam.
First I give praise to Allah,
First I give praise to Allah,
the great God of the universe.
the great God of the universe.
I give honor to His holy divine prophet,
I give honor to His holy divine prophet,
noble through Ali,
noble through Ali,
founder of the Lord, Son,
founder of the Lord's science of the world.
I give honor to the forerunner to the prophet,
I give honor to the forerunners of the prophet,
Brother Marcus God.
Brother Marcus God.
I give honor to all true and divine prophets,
I give honor to all true divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, etc.
I give honor to the past, present, grand divine, and moderators of the Lord, Son,
I give honor to the past, screen, grand advisors, and moderators of the Lord's science of the world.
Brother C. Kirkman Day,
Brother C. Kirkman Day,
Brother Nelson Day,
Brother Nelson Day,
and Brother J. Blakely Day.
and Brother J. Blakely Day.
I give honor to the past and former Grand Chief and moderators of the Lord, Son,
I give honor to the past, the former Grand Chief and moderators of the Lord's science of the world.
Brother all of it.
Brother Allah.
I give honor to the present Grand Chief who is the moderator of the Lord, Son,
I give honor to the present Grand Chief who is the moderator of the Lord's science of the world.
Brother R. Jones Day,
Brother Allah Jones,
to his assistant,
and to his assistant,
Brother A. Hopper Day.
Brother
I
A.
give honor to the Grand National Chairman of the Lord, Son,
I give honor to the Grand National Chairman of the Lord's science of the world.
Brother P. Chase Hill,
Brother P. Chase
who is also the Grand Chief here at Temple 71.
was also the Grand Chief of Temple 71.
I give honor to all national, state, and local officials of the Lord, Son,
I give honor to all national, state, and local officials of the Lord's science of the world.
I give honor to the Grand Governor of Washington, D.C.,
I give honor to the Grand Governor of Washington, D.C.,
Brother A. Harrisburg,
Brother H. Harrison,
to his assistant,
and to his assistant,
Sister D. Jonesburg.
Sister C. Jones.
I give honor to all chiefs and members of the Lord, Son,
I give honor to all chiefs and members of the Lord's science of the world.
I give honor to the American flag,
I give honor to the American flag,
the Moorish flag,
the Moorish flag,
and to our child.
and to our child.
I give honor to everything that the prophet brought,
I give honor to everything the prophet brought,
for the uplifting of fallen man.
for the uplifting of all men.
I give honor to man.
I give honor to man. Peace.
Salvation of God unity. The Lord's scientific of America, divine constitution of our Lord. Act 1. The Grand Chief and the Chairman of the Lord's scientific of America is empowered to make laws and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Lord's scientific of America. The Assistant Grand Chief is to assist the Grand Chief in all affairs. If he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and his one for the number of the Lord's scientific of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to 7:7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest. Because on a Friday, the first man born in flesh, and on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh, and sent to his Father God out of it. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Lord's scientific of America. No member to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister or indicate in order that may harm his brother or sister. And 4. All members must preserve these holy divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government. Because of being in Moorish America, you are part and parcel of the government and my daily life accordingly. And 5. This organization of the Moorish Scientific of America is not to cause confusion or to overcome the laws and constitution of the state government, which obey and not. And 6. The first, all members must proclaim their nationality. And we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and impartial to this state government, and know they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians. These names were given to slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era time now, and all men now must proclaim that free national name to be recognized by the government which they live and the nation This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained and overthrew the prophets, redeemed people in the simple way. More shall murder under the descendant of ancient Moabites, whom inhabitants of northwestern and southwestern shore of the valley. And 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part, any partial harm of listening back to the Lord's time to our murder. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all the necessities of the Lord's time to our murder. Then you are entitled to a name of faith. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children. Look after the duties of your household. Son and his daughter must obey father and mother for industrious and become a part of everything the father and man. All boys and murder keep their house and mind filled with love, and their body clean with water. This divine covenant from the holy prophet known to Ali, through the guidance of the prophet God. Known to our boundaries, the boys and murder prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah, my protector, my God, and my salvation, my night and my day, was holy prophet through Ali. Amen. The more time to America Field, Block 388-7600, Order and Drive, Green Belt Road, 20768. That's that reading from the Divine Constitution of our Laws. Now I'd like to read from the questionnaire and additional laws for the Lord's American Divine Constitution of our Laws. Act 1. Grand sheikhs and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses. Each says temples must be approved by the prophet of Koran. Before acting approved by any members, let it be financed property, or any liability that will cause them to sacrifice finances, etc. That will cause the support of any group of members. Any form of officer violating these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restrictions set by the prophet of the Grand Sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend and head meetings and the public meetings conference. The members found standing around on a meeting period shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second he'll be fined $1, which will be an emergency fund. If a member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe as much as he has to go to the liquor fund. Because it takes finance to lift the nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty for every good member if he is able to financial aid me to save the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, justice and scripture. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and as the power left in my hand, I will have to support the Lord and save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use free assertion with the flag or speak rallying in the church or any member of any organized group, but we have to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must properly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and teach them to confirm themselves to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who they to do so, because offer the Sunday school to the guidance of the nation. Act 6. First, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this state government, and know they are not Negroes, Filipino, Black people, or Ethiopians. Because these names were given to slaveholders in 1779, and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government which it is and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained those who are the prophets to redeem the people from the simple ways. The Moors and America are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shore of the valley. Act 7. All members must properly attend their meetings and become a part, any partial of all uplifting acts of the Most High temple. Members must pay their dues and keep an eye on all the necessities of the Most High temple. Then you are entitled to a name of faith. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children. Look after duties in your household. sons and daughters must obey father and mother in their industrials and become part of the efforts of all humanity. All moral mothers keep their hearts and minds filled with love. And their bodies filled with joy. This divine covenant is from the holy prophet, Noble Ali, Ruth, the God of this Father. Let's pray reading from the first day of this law to all seven. Now I'd like to read from the Holy Koran one more time. God prepared by no prophet, Noble Ali. Like we page 7, chapter 3, beautiful investment and unity of life. Again, every man the creatures in the sacred world and said, no man lives unto himself. For every living thing is bound by cord to every other living thing. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will love and not demand love in return. They will not do unto other men what they would not have other men do unto them. There are two selves, the higher and the lower self. The higher self is human spirit clothed with soul made in the form of hollow. The lower self, the counter self, the body of desires, is a reflection of the higher self. This is thought about the murky ethics of the flesh. The lower self is an illusion and will pass away. The higher self is all our man and will not pass away. The higher self is the environment of truth. The lower self is truth reversed, and so it's also manifest. The higher self is justice, mercy, love, and right. The lower self is what the higher self is not. The lower self is greed, hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything unharmed. The higher self is mother virtues and harmonies of life. The lower self is rich in promises, but poor in blessings and peace that offer pleasure, joy, satisfying gain. Forgive, unrest, misery, and death.
Peace.
Islam.
Islam.
I'd like to welcome all to our Sunday school here at 2071 here in Washington, D.C. It's an honor and pleasure just to be here in our Sunday school where we can exercise our five senses. Sometimes we exercise our five senses during the day, through our travels. But sometimes we can get confused. Okay? Yeah, we want to exercise our five senses. Today we're going to do that. We're going to be instructed by Grand National Chairman of the North Side of one who's also Grand CPA of 2071. So first, you know what, we're going to have a call before minutes. We call out instructors. We gather our thoughts, my thoughts. So without further ado, I'd like to call for Brother PJC, the Grand National Chairman, and Grand CPA of 2071.
Islam.
Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Joel Ali. Amen.
Praise be to our most. Good to be here, good to see you. Pray all is well, everybody's feeling in good spirits. How y'all feeling?
Great.
Good.
Praise $100. You should be glad to be here. Happy to be here. Knocking down them doors to get in here.
Yes, sir.
It's important. We need to be able to learn about self and our Father God our and also seek our salvation. And this is the means by which our holy prophet of the glory is set up for us in these subordinate temples with the charter of the Most High Temple of America. Praise be to our Lord. Who made you?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah is the Father of the universe.
Can we see him?
No.
Where's the nearest place we can meet him?
In the heart.
Who is noble duality?
He is Allah's prophet.
What is a prophet?
The prophet is the Lord of Allah manifested in the flesh.
What is the duty of a prophet?
To save nations from the wrath of Allah.
Who is the founder of the Moorish Temple of America?
No duality.
What year was the Moorish Temple of America founded?
1913 AD.
Where?
New York, New Jersey.
Where was noble duality born?
In the state of North Carolina, 1886.
What is his nationality?
Moorish American.
What is your nationality?
Moorish American.
Why are we Moorish American?
Because we are citizens of America.
For what purpose was the Moorish Temple of America founded?
For the uplifting of all humanity.
Praise be to God. Where do we see all the information in our literature that supports when the Moorish Temple of America was founded? Any other question? Islam, brother?
I know it's one seal in our Koran. It's one place you can find.
Say on the seal.
On the seal in our Koran.
Okay.
It's on there.
Let me hear, I want to hear from some of our other Moors. Now, they support this. Islam, brother J. Morris, buddy.
I'm back about authority on the 101.
It's on the back of our authority in a 101 questionnaire. Okay. So that's Johnson here.
Islam.
Islam, how are you?
I'm well.
Good. You heard my question, right?
I did.
Where else can we find in our literature that supports when the Moorish Temple of America was founded?
In our Moorish literature,
In our Moorish literature, what specific area in there? Do you know?
in the historical message, I don't know.
Moorish leaders' historical message to America. That's correct. Anywhere else in our literature? Well, I hold the Koran more scientific of America. I know, but maybe they said it on the seal. But in the Holy Koran, don't it say probably what you are doing? Mind prepared, sent to the river, mind is moved. Praise God. Why are we Moorish American?
Because we are citizens of America.
How do you support that? Why are we Moorish American? Because we are descendants of Moroccans born in America. How do we support that? Where do we find in our literature we support that? We are Moorish American, descendants of Moroccans born in America. It's nothing but the J. Morris place.
Because we descendants of the ancient Moroccan born in America.
The ancient Moabites.
It's on ancient Moabites
Yes.
born in America. That's where we get our lineage from.
Okay. And what chapter do you remember? Do you remember what chapter that's in?
Not
Well, I
offhand.
think that we support that along the lines of where you at right now.
Islam.
As long as
Would that be chapter 45?
yes,
Okay.
yes, that's good. Go to it and give us that part. You're right. Yeah, I support what we say we know. Chapter 45. Read.
Just that instruction number 2. The key of civilization is in the hands of the Asiatic nations, the Moors, who were the ancient Moabites and the founders of the holy city of Mecca.
Yeah, the Moors, who were the ancient Moabites. That's a good book. Where else in our list, in our Koran? And of course, we get more smart because we are descendants of Morocco. Come on, brother.
In chapter 47, further support.
Go ahead and read that
Chapter.
for us.
Pardon me, she
Go ahead and read that for us.
said the inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. And it goes on to say, old man Cush and his family are the first descendants, or the inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. So it goes, okay. You want me to finish?
I don't want to read the whole chapter, but I want you to go get to
Almost chapter 47.
right?
Egypt, the capital of the empire of the dominion of Africa.
Okay. But in that chapter, it also says something important for us about the civilization.
No.
Number 6.
Someone help us out.
Verse 6.
What does it say in verse 6? There is.
He said, say, the more.
What does it say in number 11?
I can't hear. He said, what in?
I'm asking. Sister
Oh,
Danielle raised
Oh,
number
that's
11.
Islam, number 11. There is no one who's able to change man from the descent nature of his forefathers, unless he has the power that extends beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself.
And prior to that, in instruction number 10, it says to us, what your ancient forefathers were, you are today without doubt or contradiction. So the emphasis on this is that that's why we're more smart, because we're descendants of Moroccan, born in America, and no man can change the descendant nature of his forefathers. Islam, Brother David said.
Islam. I found something else in the same chapter, number 17.
Go ahead.
It said that is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and color was given to them, the Asiatics of America who were of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father and strayed after the gods of Europe of whom they knew nothing.
Good. Good. And that's the way you're supposed to look at it and read and be able to report this information and hold it. So we can support who we say we are. Whoa! Pardon me. How did the prophet begin up with the Moors America?
Teaching them to be themselves.
What is our religion?
Islam.
Is that a new, is that the old time religion?
Old time religion.
What kind of flag is the Moors?
It's a red flag.
What do the 5 points represent?
Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
How old is our flag?
It is over 10,000 years old.
Which is our holy day?
Friday.
Why?
Friday is the day when Jesus came in the flesh. And on Friday when he brought out the flesh.
Who was Jesus?
He was the prophet of Allah.
Where was he born?
In Bethlehem, Judah, the house of David.
Who was his father and mother?
Joseph and Mary.
Will you give them brief the line, genealogy through which Jesus came?
So the great fathers through which Jesus came are Abraham, was by Ruth, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, Joseph, by Mary.
Why did Allah send Jesus to this earth?
He said that Israelites were behind and pressed to prepare the nation to go through the portion of Palestine at that time.
How long has that been?
2,000 years.
What was the nationality of Ruth?
Ruth was a Moabite.
What is the modern name for Moabite?
Moroccan.
Where's the Moroccan Empire?
Northwest Mexico.
What is the modern name for Mexico?
Africa.
What is the title given to our ruler Morocco?
Sultan.
Where do we get the name Jesus?
Peace.
What does the name Jesus mean?
Jesus means justice.
Did the angel give it to the child that was called Jesus, a holy name?
Yes.
Not used by those who are slaves to sin.
What is an angel?
Names of God manifested in human flesh.
What are angels used for?
Current message to perform the words of all nations.
What is our prophet to us?
His angel prophets and bring us that everlasting gospel of God.
What is the everlasting gospel?
This ain't God come from Allah, when he called by his prophet.
What is the covenant of the great God of love?
Honor our father and mother, that they may be long on earth and the Lord thy God love give you.
And what age did Jesus begin to teach?
At the age of 12,
Where did he teach?
in the African Europe,
How long did he teach?
18 years.
What did Jesus say that would make
True.
what is true?
Truth is all.
What is art?
All is Allah.
Can truth change?
Truth cannot change or pass away.
What other name do we give for truth?
Holy God.
What did Jesus say about holy God?
All we can say is great, is good, is was, is, and was to be. Amen.
What place on earth was the physical part of man born?
In God we lead.
Where's the God of Eden?
In the land of Canaan, the city of Mecca.
What is the modern name for the God of Eden?
Mecca.
What is the name of the first physical man?
His name did not be used only by the sect gurus of AC of the MSC of Mecca.
What are the words of AC to MST of man?
And that changed the most science symbol of America.
Who would Adam and Eve?
They are the mothers and fathers of the human family, Ajax and Muslims.
Who were Adam and Eve?
They are the mothers and fathers of the human family, Ajax and Muslims.
Where did they go?
They went into Asia.
What is the modern name given to their children?
Ajax.
Who is guarding the holy city of Mecca today to keep unbelievers away?
Angels.
What is the modern name for those angels?
Ajax.
What is the shade of their skin? Are the more Samaritans in relation to those angels?
Yes, God, the Son, Father, and Mother.
Give 5 names that are given to the descendants of Adam and Eve.
Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast.
What is the devil sometimes called?
Lord, Son,
How many cells are there?
2.
Name them.
Higher self and lower self.
What people represent the higher self?
The angels who protect the holy city of Mecca.
What people represent the lower self?
Those who cast out the holy city and those who accept their teaching.
What is the higher self?
The higher self is the mother of virtues and honors life, greed, justice, mercy, love, and honor.
Can the higher self pass away?
No,
Why?
because it is Allah in the name.
What does the lower self breathe?
Hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything harm.
What did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met it?
Where are you going, Satan?
What was the answer that the lower self gave to the higher self?
I am going to you for the earth, seeking only God.
Has he finished his task of devouring?
Yes.
What was his time declared out?
When he nailed Jesus on the cross,
What are the last words Jesus uttered?
he is finished.
What did he have reference to?
He had reference to the Satan.
Did Jesus say that he would return after him?
Yes.
Yes.
What is the name of the person into whom Jesus was first reincarnated? For Satan to be bound then.
Satan was the ground apart.
When was the head of Satan taken off?
1453 by
By whom?
Muhammad.
Name some of the marks that were put upon the Moors and Northwest by the European nations in 1774.
Negro, black, colored, Ethiopian.
Negro.
A name given to the West Africa by Moors because his name was
What is meant by the word black?
black. According to science means death.
What does the word colored mean?
Color means Indian, Pakistan, honest with eye.
What does Ethiopia mean?
Ethiopian means something divided.
Can a man be a Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian?
No,
Why?
because man is made in the image and likeness of God.
What title does Satan give himself?
God.
We define the word white.
God means purity, purity means God, God means the Lord of the land.
To whom do we refer to at times again as great God?
Allah.
Is the devil made in the image and likeness of Allah?
No, he's the shadow of our Lord self who passed away.
Who made the devil?
Elohim.
Who is Elohim?
Elohim is the seven spirit that created
What is Elohim sometimes called?
7 eyes of Allah.
How many days in creation?
7 days.
How many days in the serpent?
7 days.
How many days in a creation?
7 days.
According to science, how many days in a year?
7 days.
You know, every time we go over these lessons in our questionnaire, we have one question and answer. But read something comfortable. We read reveals itself to me that I didn't think of before. You know? And that should be the case with all of us, because we are unfolding. This is spirit. And there are many answers in here that, while the answer is there, we still are seeking to make the connection. So what questions come in your mind that you may want to have some discussion on? Sit down, brother.
Why are there 7 days in the
That's
year?
not down.
Brothers asking, why are there 7 days in a year and not 365?
People cheat on us.
Somebody help us out on that. Hold on, brother Jackson. Islam, brother Cameron Bay.
Yeah, I would ask them to name the days.
And you know what? I thought of that too. They are only 7 days, but cumulatively, to make up an entire year is 365 days. So I feel like if someone was to ask me that that's not in this movement, how would I explain that to them?
And brother Cameron Bay was trying to share with you. It's 7 days. Go ahead, brother Cameron Bay.
Yeah, it ain't the 7 days. All you're doing is going in a circle, counting those 7 days over and over and over. That's why it's only 7 days in a year. There's no more than 7 days. You're going from Sunday to Saturday, you starting all over again. It's the same 7 days.
Come on, brother Jackson.
It was 7 days in this creation. In the Moore Sign Temple, it was 7 days of this creation.
What do you mean?
Which means that the only 7 days we know of as Morris Americans would be 7 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday.
Who else knows more than that? Yeah, who else? Is there
There's no other name.
Is there
No, sir.
So we need more time to go America.
We know it's 7 days.
No, everybody knows it's only 7 days in the creation. 7 days that come in a week. So as was stated, they just repeat themselves over and over and over again. Now, of course, here in this country, let's stay there for a second. In this country, there's something that is called the what? The Roman what? The Roman calendar. Others have calendars too.
Yes.
But they never changed to 7 days. Now, look what the prophet is teaching us right here. And he's trying to teach us this, and that's what the more science thing of America is. This is science. According to science, you know, man comes up with different things. There's only ever been 7 days. So, what we want to go with is what the prophet says.
No.
Yes, according to the Roman calendar that they go by here in this country and other places, they create a calendar that represents the David Steele was pointing out after 365 days and what they consider to be something called a leap year, it might be one or more added to it. But we're studying the science, and the science here is more science than what America is what?
7 days.
And it also is truth. He's giving us the truth of the matter. Because he wants us not to be under the illusion of the things that are common world. He's giving us the truth of it. And that's what he's teaching. He has a contribution on. So David said, did that help you? Now, you asked, how can you explain it?
Yeah, I feel like it's like better because it's basically like I'm using a European philosophy when I'm thinking 365 days.
Yes, man-based. But and most people will not dispute the fact that there are only 7 days. They won't dispute that. Usually, I know that it's being disputed over and over again. Depending on what the month of the year is on this calendar, it breaks down to 30. Some days 31, some 27, 28 or 29. They still repeat. They go
No matter how you do it, it's only 7 days.
in a year. Yes, it's not Sister David.
It's mom. I always thought when they said, not weeks, but when they say 7 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and there's no more names to that, so that's the 7.
Exactly. All right. Any other questions that come to mind? You can give some assistance on. Come on, Brother Kevin.
Yes, my question is, but this is a big part of our history that we should know. Question number 8, number 83. It says, when was the head of Satan taken off? And it gives you a year, 1453, but it calls it the Byzantine.
The Byzantine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
All right. So what's your thought on that?
I wanted to know why they call it the Byzantine.
That's the early. And that's where it took place.
Anybody want to help out on that? Let's start with Brother E. Williams Bay, and M. Dixon Hill, and Brother Faulkner Bay after that.
Byzantine was during a period of time in history.
Okay. All right. Brother M. Dixon Hill.
Islam. It was like brother they said it was an early time, and that also was the time during the Constantine movement. And before it was called Istanbul, it was called Byzantine under the last extension of the Roman Empire.
Okay. Faulkner Bay.
It's also dealing with Roman Greco culture. The original word Byzantium literally comes from a combination of those two cultures.
You all can hear it. So as y'all heard, those 3 pieces of information, you gotta do a little research on your own. Look up Byzantine, and you'll see what was taking place during that early time. And that it was, in fact, part of the Roman Empire.
Yes.
Constantine was the ruler. At that time, after it was called Byzantine, on the earth became Constantinople. Jackson, you raise your hand.
Not bad.
Oh, okay, there you go. Come on, brother. You should third member. Oh, we've already have a question. We're doing on the Byzantine Empire. Okay. You guys, you good?
Nah, I just want to get
I know you want to get it out there so people can, and all of this is promoting and provoking your sense of thinking as well as do some research. Everything, every date, every name, the prophet is not just haphazardly putting these things in our literature. They're for us to find out who these people are, who these areas. He's giving us history on different early times, different geographical locations, different things that have been defined by others. He's bringing us up to speed and getting us to encourage us to be seekers after the truth. Therefore, we have to get our dictionaries, our encyclopedias, our maps of different things and places so that we can relate these things to what the prophet is talking about. Some things we may have to do some extensive research as it relates to some of the old and ancient areas that maybe that name of that location has changed now. So this is incumbent upon us to know who he's speaking about in our literature. Over J. Morris.
It also belongs to the time that the Moors took over, conquered that particular part of the Roman Empire. That date, 1453.
Yeah.
They the Moors ran, not ran. They the Moors conquered that particular part of the Roman Empire.
Yeah. gotta get information and connect it. They probably board, but they had called by different names, during those different eras of time. It's not about
Church.
I'm fucking by your hand.
Islam, I just wanted to add that Byzantine Empire is also particular or specific to the Eastern Empire.
Eastern, yes, the eastern extension of the Roman Empire. And, come on, bro, Persian made on that time.
If you put 82, 83, and 84 together, it kind of explains that who was the, where was the egg sent from? 1453 now. And then this was the Muhammad. So Prophet Muhammad was extension of teachings. Prophet was at that time. So
Just stop it for a second. Damn. You have to be clear a little bit more. Prophet Muhammad and Muhammad, two different people.
Yes.
One here, where it says Muhammad, he was a Turkish general. Prophet Muhammad, he was the first to be reincarnated. He was an Arabian. Help me out with that. That's not correct.
No, right. His name was General Mahmoud.
Yes. So we want to make sure we have those. Someone else had their hand up. You go ahead and finish your point.
you know, I was where I made the mistake was putting Prophet Muhammad, General Muhammad.
Right.
Okay. So that's where the distinction that's different from my thing.
But they were still carrying out the great work of Almighty God out. So Jesus was prophesying about it when they got him on the cross. He said it's finished. But he had reference to the end of Satan. What does that mean? But I know a lot of us here, we still in this flesh, in this era of time. Whoever it's finished, while we still going through something. So that part gotta mean something to you. You gotta investigate what does that mean when he said it is finished, the end of Satan. Well, we know Satan's still around. So what was he referencing?
Reference to part of the Roman Empire.
Come on, Brother Martin.
It was in reference to this lower self. That's what I'm thinking.
Come on, Brother Jackson here.
I would say that it killed the thought. It put an end to the thought.
You on it. You're part of it.
Yeah,
You're on it.
that's what I'm looking at.
That was the dominance. Remember what Jesus came for.
He gave love.
Because what it says in the Koran, or in the person there, he was sent to save the Israelites from the iron hand oppression. Those nations of Europe who were governing the course of Palestine at that time, and they had the extension, as the brother said, to the east and other parts of the world. So that part, one of the things you got to remember too, the dominance of the Roman Empire was throughout the world, and there was a thought that was put out. They were governing by this thought, and they created the Roman Church, who crucified Jesus. We got to connect all this together because this is how it goes. Hold on for a minute. Come on, Mom.
He did kind of
Yeah.
show a little what the truth is, the law and truth about that. If you look into, that's why I brought up the issue about the culture of the Byzantine Empire, because it was the first culture that approved iconography, creating false images and pagan doctrines based on what came out of the church as a result of the Nicene Creed. And as a result of this false doctrine, they were able to corrupt the thought that needed to be removed so that Islam could take its place in that region. Right. Which is one of the reasons why Prophet Muhammad said, I have raised up a people who raise up their sword to purify my people. That's a hadith in reference to the church. So the fact that these doctrines were corrupting the thought that Allah would have be there, Prophet Muhammad allowed for that to be removed so true and divine doctrine can take its place.
Yes. And there's something else that we read about that took place that supports that when Jesus resurrected. That's why they paid off the soldiers. So that all their testimony would not be what? Proven false. It was already false. Go ahead, Brother Jackson.
I'd like to get a clarification on who was the Roman, the European nation, or was it some type of gang what made you Roman?
Yeah, they came here.
So again, cause it sounds like to me that they can't be talking on nationality. Greece.
We're a nation of people.
Yeah, what?
They were a nation of people.
What nation?
The Roman and Rome.
But I'm saying, was that some type of title? Or, what, the Europeans? What?
Because
there's only two.
We understand.
So I'm just saying, was this Roman?
They're part of the European nation.
Was this Roman nation with a title?
No.
I'm going to join the Roman nation.
No. What you want to do is study what I just said, a map, a geographical map of the world.
Okay.
And you'll see where Rome was at. Rome was in Italy.
So it was, okay.
And there are different parts of Europe that make up the European nations.
Okay, that's what I want you to understand.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions out of the question there? Come on.
I didn't have a question. I said a comment.
Go ahead.
Just like at a period of time, the Moors, we had the Moorish Empire where we ruled in Africa and for a period of time ruled in Spain as well. But at another period of time, Rome had an empire as well where they ruled too. So the same way the Moors had an empire, like the Moorish Empire, where we ruled in Africa and in Spain, the Romans had an empire where at a point in time they ruled as well. And Brother Grandson said in different parts of the world.
Yeah, not only that, in conjunction with that, and y'all heard what Brother Ray was saying, there was an influence. They created a culture. They created all different types of religious practices that came out. The Roman Catholic Church was one of the most dominant influences on the world.
Yeah. So what the Europeans?
Yes, we always said that, man.
I just don't like the name.
It's what you got, right? The name, it is what it is.
All right, well, I'm just going to emphasize on that.
All right, you did that. But we got to know. See, we got to know. Because he talks about Ajax and Europeans.
Right.
So you got to know.
Islam.
Islam.
You're going to have to work that out.
Yeah.
But it is important for us to understand that when we read the question and answer, if I may give it to the sense of that, Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast. Lucifer is not the devil is not the dragon is not the beast, and none of them are Satan. Each one has a specific spiritual meaning. I'm trying to choose my words carefully so I'm not confusing anybody.
That's right.
Satan literally traces back to arch deceiver. It literally means that entity or institution, not a being, not a spirit, but an institution of religious deception. No other one institution on this planet has been more responsible for corrupting the word of God. Do I need to say any more? I'm trying to speak right here. But if you can hear, you got ears to hear, you won't mention. They developed a culture that literally defied the truth of God by replacing the great God Allah with a man who looked like them, which is one of the reasons why they were so adamant about producing pictures, sculptures,
Yes.
and various other images. If I can psychologically get you to see a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, aquiline nose and lip man who looks like you are more inclined to be more comfortable with calling yourself God. However, reverse that. Now I want to introduce a word called black. And you look in the mirror. If that's God, then who do I want you to think you are? Kind of common sense. Kind of the act of European psychology that really should be easiest for us to see in 2024. If anybody is paying attention to current events, listen, that's so much of the language that's being used. We still in a period of those being attempted to tear us down and drag out our true history, our true greatness by words. European psychology, constantly using words. Like according to science means death. So if I can say you ugly, you dumb, you sullen, you wicked, you have no light. Black, the absence of light. So now I can get you to believe there's no God in you. And it's easier for you and me to agree that I'm God. If I call myself God. What title does so-and-so give himself? The arch deceiver. The first religious deceiver. Please.
And with that, see, those monsters heard from the Moors. They knew who the Moors were. They know who we are. We're just learning. And one of the things the prophet came to do when he told President Wilson this when he went to get us. He said, I'm going to wake them up in love. We had to be woken up. Yes, it's 2024, but we're still, many of our people are still not awoken. Right. And not only our people outside of the temple, some of us, our people in the temple. That's why this does take practice. But along with the practice, read what he said we did. We strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom we knew nothing. That had an impact. Because even President Wilson said, well, we put in them, you won't be able to get 100. Yeah, there were things put in us, as was stated, psychologically. It was embedded in us. And the biggest part of it is we accepted it. We accepted these things. We're still accepting these illusions. Because they dress them up in all types of trinkets and shining objects and words that may make you feel like you're elevating or gaining some superiority over somebody or something else. Status in this world. Our people oftentimes shoot for status. And the picture they put in front of you as a European woman when they talk about beauty. That's what we're supposed to measure up to. Come on, it's all part of that illusion. And that's what the prophet is teaching us to come out of the illusion so that we don't die with it. So it's important that we study and learn the history, who we are, and who our forefathers were, and about our Father God out. And you have to define these words. I just said that these names and dates, geographical location, individuals. You got to do some research on it. You got to know the impact of what they had. You probably wouldn't put them in here if it wasn't important. And the great fathers to which Jesus came. You have to know the connection between all of those great fathers that he named in here. There was a significant bloodline as well as their duties and responsibilities to the nation of people. All the different people that came under them. So they played an impact, an important role in the history of our people, in the history of the world. And remember, our history didn't start during the time of slavery. We were still way before that. And if we talk about it, now y'all heard those who was here Friday heard me say something about the flag. When we talk about our flag, it represents the Moorish nation, it represents man. That flag represents man on earth. The first religious creed, founded in the holy city. Come on. This is a science, and we got to put it together. Okay. Yes, I'm good.
I wanted to add to that. Page 59, chapter 48, the end of time, the fulfilling of the prophecies, instruction number 5, that the world may hear and know the truth, that among the descendants of Africa there is still much wisdom to be learned. In these days, for the redemption of the sons of men under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Like you were just speaking about the flag. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice is the principle in our flag. And, you know, when we come to Sunday school, we learn a lot of information, but you're not going to get it all here. That's why the instructor said earlier, we have to go back home and study on our own, in our own personal time, to take what we get here and make the connection. Because you can look up a lot of words in the dictionary, but you're not going to find all of this in the dictionary. You know, so you have to dig a little deep, and that's what caught my attention. That there's still much wisdom to be learned. So we don't get a lot out of the temple, but you still have to do your personal stuff, you know, to get more peace.
There's some really good shit about thought without, you know, and you probably just going and say, mama man, one night, right? You know, he does the job, right? You know, skill and of those people, you know, you strong relationship with open man, it's like, you know, with the prophet teaching, you know, you better know about Adam and Eve. You know, with the modern name, you know, like we spoke about Prophet Muhammad, you know, his call, you know, which we have on thought of receiving these divine instruction and lessons, you know, that because we calm, you know, that this is calm, you know, probably moving us up to the higher thing, like the spirit, like we speak of, you know, and this came upon that we fight there. You know, like some say that brothers coming in here, sisters coming in here, you know, with an outside thought, bringing it into, you know, some place that we consider holy, you know, and we wrestle with those 6 days. know, maybe study, what we call the law of the tongue. Study, don't study, you don't work. How we do these things?
You say
It's probably informing us.
let me ask you, you said we wrestle with it 6 days.
You're more than 6 days, I said you come here on Sunday.
Yeah, we
You
wrestle
still
with it.
wrestling with it.
How about that? We wrestle
You
with it
still
every
wrestling
day.
with it.
7
Like
days.
that. You still wrestling with it. You know what I'm saying?
I got your thought. But look, we're going to go into our program in a moment so we can get back into the chat. Let's think about whatever questions we have in the questionnaire. Let's do our research. Let's come back with some thoughts and relate to what connection did you make. Because you got the question and the answer. And you're able to use the Koran and our own literature to make a connection. And to see some things that you didn't see before. This is evolving, and I'm supposed. You the last hand, folks. Come on.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, folks.
Yeah, it's on. I mean, I just want to say that you said something that was really high science that they have to study to see. When you said the stars represent man here on earth, if you really study that and find, you'll see the symbol where they have the head, the 2 arms, and the legs sticking out in shape of that star. And when I studied it, it said it was very high science here on earth. So the prophet put it all together for us. All we got to do is sometimes go and research to put it together.
Let me clear this part. Not the star. Star represents, one thing the star represents the flag divine principle. That's it. The flag. Flag in and of itself. Represents man. That's the connection, one of the connections that we should be able to see. Especially as we're learning that the ancient Moabites were the first people. All right. Let's go to chapter 20 and see if we recall some of the things that our grand Sheikh and moderator and his extended Islam agreed to more than what feeling well today. So he contacted me and let me know that he would be extensive Islam agreed. He and Sister D. Jones, they are secretary and assistant manager. So we're on chapter 20. Line instructions from the Holy Prophet, Holy instructions and warnings for all young men. Where's the last place that this man should stop? On number 4. I'm going to read down to number 4. It says, beware, young man, beware of all the allurements of wantonness. And let not the harlot tempt thee to excess in her delights. The madness of desire shall defeat its own pursuits. From the blindness of its rage thou shalt rush upon destruction. Therefore give not up thy heart to her sweet enticement, neither suffer thy soul to be enslaved by her enchanting delusions. The fountain of health, which must supply the stream of pleasure, shall quickly be dried up, and every spring of joy shall be exhausted. Now we do make a general application of the lessons that can fit in most areas of life. You still want to be as specific as possible in the subject that the prophet is speaking to. Young men. He's warning young men. And that's not just figuratively. He's literally warning young men. And we as young men can relate. Some of us, or all of us, should be able to relate to what he's telling us and what he's speaking of. So, I'm going to read number 5. He says, in the prime of thy life, old age shall overtake you. The sun shall decline in the morning of thy days. What is he saying to you then? As a young man, stop with the somebody help me out. Yes, we can have that discussion. And I said this probably last time I was discussing. We want to be respectful, but we don't want to be shy about talking about life. That's what this is all about. And these lessons are for us to understand that we pass through all the ways of life, and as we do, we're going to experience different things. Passions, desires, emotions, all of that comes with this flesh. But he's trying to raise us up to a higher thought that we can then apply the divine and spiritual lessons that will guide us through these carnal ways of life. That's what this is all about. Who had their hand? Come on, Brother Davisville, Brother Jacksonville, and William Bay, Brother Brooklyn.
It's, what I'm getting out of this is talking about a young man overly wasting his seed.
Come on, Brother Jacksonville.
I was thinking it was talking about the age, the time of the age.
And number
It had a
five.
limitation to it.
Yes, well, it has a limitation. Yeah, but what he's also saying is what?
Using moderation.
Well, that's what he's trying to get. He said, in the prime of thy life, old age shall overtake thee. Now he's talking to a young man.
Right.
But in your prime, you youthful, you strong, you vigorous, you ready to rock and roll and go out and see the world and do your thing.
Hard-headed.
Yeah, that part comes with it. But he said, old age shall overtake thee.
Right.
That means doing those things that preceded
Right.
life.
Right.
And the sun shall decline in the morning of that day. What does that mean to you?
You get old before your time. You'll get old before your time.
Where your body down?
Come on, brother. Trumpet bass, now I got brother William back.
We speak with discretion when the company goes to where that principle should be applied. But we're talking about undisciplined sexual practices that causes, in many cases, ED.
Right. In other words, when you get to a certain point because you've been accessing in earthly life, now it's hard for a young man to perform. Because he's accessed. Moderation, you said that, Brother Jacksonville, and that's correct. Come on, Brother Williams, back.
Oh, yeah. That's what pretty much will happen. Being young and vigorous, you're going at it, but you're going at it too hard, right? And you're going at it overly excessive, right? And in doing so, you burning yourself out, right? and old age will overtake you, at least momentarily.
And these are real things, so we gotta, we gotta go through the lesson and talk about it. And the prophet said this. He said he's gonna make it plain. So you don't embarrass me.
He said the young men.
He said he's gonna make it plain. Yes.
We ain't young.
Yeah, we are. Come on. Now, and if you go back to the remember, to your point, he said the madness of desire shall defeat its own pursuits. From the blindness of its rage, thou shalt wrestle from destruction. He's telling teachers, you know, but we see what's going on in the world with our young people. Come on, man. We gotta be able to teach this.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to share this.
Right.
Y'all missed the word that Brother Uncle Bay just used when he was speaking. Y'all may not have missed it, but over there at the ear to hear. It's about speaking with discretion. He's teaching us how we can communicate to the truth, even for their instruction, and to the what? Lies without harming the truth. That's what this is all about. Come on, Sister Delia.
Yes, I'm listening to physical, so we got to remember the mental, emotional state, right? When you overdose, it can do a toll mentally on brother or sister, right? And old age would sink in because you go into depression. You know, you start rejecting good things that's coming for you in the future because of what done happened in the past with someone else. So we don't want to just think on a physical level, think on your mental level. And I have seen it, how it takes a toll on the mental body, the human brain, when they have been deceived, when they have been used and abused, both physically and mentally.
Yes, and that's important. Lord, remember this too. It's about, and another word to put in here is your level of energy. When your sun declines, your level of energy goes down. Sister Gabriel?
I don't know if I would have put the sisters with this conversation.
Of course.
You know,
Because they
because
got-
I see it different.
Well, we talked about the sisters.
Yeah.
And then, and the rest of this that we get ready to go into is going to describe the type of sisters you're going to go
Okay, I'm talking where we are right now.
Oh, yeah, it's dealing with sisters.
Uh,
The sisters got to be aware of things as well.
I don't want the sisters that decline. Well,
But hey, but in reality, it works both ways.
oh, okay.
It works both ways. That's why I said, specifically talking to the young man,
Yeah.
but
Oh, I know.
generally,
Yeah.
it affects a lot of people. And one of the reasons why the sisters got to be aware, so you didn't have this young buck who's all riled and ready to go. All up on you every 5 minutes. You know, there's no way he been before he got with you. You gotta slow him down. You gotta slow him down. All right. Who else we have? Come on.
Sister Dale, you pretty much kind of said it right on the mental part as well, right? You know what I mean? So you don't want to forget that either. It'll put a mental strain
Oh,
on
I'm 75. I'm okay.
I believe you.
I can't relate.
I believe you.
Islam, praise Allah, praise Allah. This is true story. Right now, in the last month and a half, I've been counseling a Moore's brother who just the other day hit his breaking point and ended up in a pool of tears out of mental depression and frustration. Imagine being in a garden with every delicious vine and fruit you can imagine. And you ain't got no taste buds or teeth. And that's what this brother suffered. The opportunity is there, but the purpose is futile. Because out of so many of those opportunities, the sun ain't shining. And he's walking away in darkness and depression. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that much to say. We need to take this serious. Because there's some men in here, you understand, that may not admit it, and I ain't trying to put nobody on the spot. But I'd be the first person to admit, if that was the case, that this is very serious. Because, yeah, it can literally drive a man to despair.
Yes.
I've seen it.
And not only does it affect the mental, it affects the person's economic situation, with men using their resources. And not only that, what the gist of this too should come to our mind is relationships. Relationships. That's it, both ways. That's the gist of this. It should be about watching the relationships you encounter. That's pretty much as big a part of this as anything else.
Friends, companions,
That's it, yeah.
it's got an order.
That's my point.
And the proper
gave us that divine order. I probably I'll be still struggling with that.
All of us, everybody, in their own way. So Jackson, here, come on.
I like to say that, our soul been around over 2,000 years, and it did not come into truth until 1887, the birth of the prophet. So that's how long our soul been floating.
No. Don't say that,
First of all, you got a year wrong.
And not only that, that's not accurate because you've been here before. If your soul
And the soul been, I'm telling you, the soul been here.
But the fact of the matter is, my brother.
But it didn't relate to truth.
But come on now. The truth been around as long as the soul been around. People been practicing it.
It's the only truth I know.
Okay, then that's good for you. And if you go on, maybe you'll see it a little better.
Yeah.
But be careful how you pronounce the way you think. Because those thoughts may not be accurate. Go back to the book and see what the prophet said. Because Allah changed not. And so there have been many good people on this earth. Some of us just got turned around. And some are running their way. But if you look at the history of the world, we have many people that are as leaders, as sages, as teachers, as students, and those who were trying to be seekers after truth that were learning the right way. Because if somebody didn't hold this before we got here, it wouldn't be here. Somebody else had to hold this before we showed up. We got to give honor to those who kept them doors open. I'm not talking about doors here at Temple 71. Doors to the Morris Science Temple of America and the doors to the way of life and the teachers of all of our true and divine.
So you telling me this been here 2,000 years?
Of course it has.
And it's saying it's up to?
Of course it has. That's what you need to tell yourself. Where did the,
now I'm going about the time of the prophet.
Now I want you to go by what you're supposed to be studying. What did it say in the Koran? That Allah
Loosen the keys.
had the keys loosened in the first time in ages. He didn't say for the first time, period. And they were delivered to the hands of the Muslims here in America. So just think about it. Oh, come on, Brother James.
Okay, I'm just going to say, I see it clearly because I made it applicable to myself. And once I made it applicable to myself, then there I'm being what I know now, what I'm told. Now, so if I'm there, when I can be like what I'm saying, then we have to teach the other brothers. Now I can be that teacher that has my footprint be clearly cut. Because I have been this. I have been in that madness and desire. And I've seen how it defeated my own pursuit. And this praise Allah that he didn't take my form away from me. So if we make it applicable to ourselves and just call back memory, we get a clear understanding of what's going on. We all get still have to do that.
You have to continue to practice. This is what unfolds inside of us. And let us be clear on this. I know a lot of times we come in here and we learn different lessons and we learn different things. And we may think we're ready. We can share information. And when you share information, I would be cautious to say that this is my story. This is how it went with me. Not to tell somebody else to do what you did or to see it from your point of view. They got to see it for themselves. We share information and then we let the people accept it at their own will. But you got to be an example if you're going to share these teachings. You can't just be talking about it. You got to live it. And when we share it, be sincere. But then refer to our Holy Prophet that you are with teaches us so and so, so and so. You want to refer back to the prophet's teachings because that's the truth. Sometimes we may have an understanding of some of these lessons, but we don't want to act like that's it. He said the wise man got often to change his mind. So we can share information and just think about it in reference to what it has done for you. Now number 6 says this, and we kind of go into another area right now. It says, but when virtue and modesty enlighten her charms, the luster of a beautiful woman is brighter than the stars of heaven, and the influence of her power it is vain to resist. So what is he telling you now? We had the harlot. Now we're talking about the luster of a beautiful woman. So he's showing you the contrast. Yeah, but he's telling this young man, when you're looking and you're examining, you're supposed to look at the one from the other, but you're looking at their character, what's being displayed, and how they turn themselves. So we say the virtue of modesty enlighten her charms. The lust of a beautiful woman is brighter than the stars of heaven, and the influence of her power is in vain to resist. What does that mean to you? You gotta look at it. The influence of her power. What does he say? Here comes the mind. Come on, Brother Private, man.
I think the prophet is saying, don't get caught up on the physical attraction of but how she see her character, how she carries herself, the words she speaks, and the influence that comes behind the words that she speaks. She's speaking the truth that you can take and dwell on and accept and say to yourself, well, this is working on something. It ain't just the outside beauty that the prophet is talking about. It's the thoughts and the words that come out of her mouth.
He spoke the word she. So she is identified as the soul in this thing.
Did you read number 6?
Huh?
Are you reading number 6?
Yeah, I read number 6. When I'm out
Okay, we're talking about a woman. We're talking about a woman.
Female.
Female, yes. But when virtue and modesty, and now we talking about a minute ago, we got to look up words. Here's a woman with virtue, a woman that uses modesty. It enlightens her charms. The luster of a beautiful woman. The way that you see her, that brightness.
But that spirit.
Come on, we're talking about right now you're dealing with her. Yes, she has a spirit. You know that. But the fact that it ain't okay, you gotta see the whole picture. The point is, physically, you're looking at it. Physically, you're communicating with her. Physically, you consider her as having some type of relationship, be it a friend, a person that you just know, or even a companion. I'm talking about what you actually go through in life here on earth.
I was thinking, like, in today's society, like we talk about accepting other people's teachings. Okay? Like you spoke about earlier, when they show us an image of beauty. They show us this European lady. Like we're supposed to measure everything by that. Now, moving a little further, it's like, I don't know how to describe it, whether it's a culture or the right word, but it's like you see people revealing. We was coming up, you learn to cover up. But now we go out in society, you see a lot of sisters and brothers, revealing, but when when a sister has virtues, it's good quality. Modesty, moderation. Okay, so you don't have to be so revealing to show good quality. If you conduct yourself properly, you can be covered up and be just as beautiful or more beautiful. You know, because we looking at the character, and when she's speaking from the heart. The words from her mouth is the thoughts of her heart. So when she's speaking, you can understand this is good quality right here. You know, but you know, the world is the illusion. So they teach us something else, and we accept it as this is the truth, but it's not. The truth is the one.
We're learning not to accept it. That's one of the reasons why we're here. So we can distinguish the one from the other. And that's important for us as we are unfolding and as we begin to see the importance of these teachers in our lives so that we can make the right choices. And that's really what it's about today in this common world. We don't have to make choices. He's given us the direct information that we can use to make those choices, and they should be, to this point, Brother Jackson, based on our spiritual awareness and consciousness of things that we're seeing with these compromises and these situations that we want to encounter while we're here. So that's important. Come on, Brother Davis here and go around back.
To me, this is giving instructions to young men about the consequences that come with choosing one type of woman versus another type of woman.
That's good. That's a good quote from that go around back.
It's not praise God. When you see good conduct and good character coming from a sister, it's a wonderful thing, especially in these days and times. Like with so many things, as the brother was saying, that is being revealed, but not just for sisters, but also for brothers as well. When you see good conduct and character coming from a person, it's a wonderful, beautiful thing. So when they're speaking or they're talking, especially when they're speaking in light or talking about positive things, it's just wonderful to hear.
There it is. She's going to be the last.
It's on up modesty, right? And it says having or showing a moderate or humbleness, right? Merits important subject free from vanity. So we know vain, we want to take it out of anyone, sister or brother, being vain. And boastfulness, boastfulness, and get it out. Always boasting what you got, how good you are, right? What you can do, right? When you boasting like that, that's not but vain. When you brag about anything like that, if you do it out of the goodness of your heart. So if a sister's doing something for you from the goodness of her heart, that's a good thing. But if she got to boast every 5 minutes saying, well, I did this for you and this and that, you didn't do it from your heart. You did it to brag. That's vain and stuff. And it says also, or great pretension, intentions, your intentions is humble, is honest, is lovable. It's showing divine love to me, for real. Because you're doing it to assist.
Read the rest of this chapter and study the rest of this chapter. You see the contrast in the two descriptions of sisters. But keep in mind, again, you can apply this to male or female.
Yeah.
And speaking to a young man for a specific reason. But also, the sisters want to look at things in here. Because he's also describing how they should be. So we're going to read and study the whole chapter. Instead of reading the rest of those verses coming down, there's a good description there of what young men should be looking for and what they need to do. Now, there was some in this discussion today, Morris, and that's why it is important that we have our pen and pencils and paper and write down things. There were some words that were stated as it relates to some of the things that we all were talking about. One of them was culture. There's a culture that is oftentimes you see depicted in different areas of the world, in different areas of the way people live. That culture oftentimes has an influence on us that we seem to do and gravitate towards certain things, certain ways of life, certain practices. We have a culture here. We're building this culture here. And it's built on the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And we must maintain this culture because our purpose is for the uplifting for humanity. And that's why we must learn. He teaches us that out from the Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. You don't guide because you got a title. You guide because you have built up your character of a righteous person. And from that, people will see that. And they'll watch that. And they'll see where you go. And they'll ask certain questions of you. We're not different. We're just showing the part of our inner that exists. We're trying to let the R in you express itself. And it should be expressed without you even having to open your mouth. So these are the things that we're practicing, that we're learning, and that we're trying to exhibit as righteous men and women, as Moorish American Muslims. We're going to have a broader picture of what our duties are, because I'll just speak right here to this group that's in front of me. As Moorish American Muslims, we got to prepare to go and take our place among the affairs of men. That means we're going to have to, while working on some things, we got to get past some things. We can't be stagnant in our growth in order for us to aid and assist others. Because you'll never get there. I said it on Friday. You coming to help somebody and you look like you need to help. Now, we got to raise ourselves up. In order for those to embrace what the teaching of the prophet that is coming from us, they got to know that we have faith in this, that we are founded in this, and that this is our life's work based on the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We got a great work to do for not just here, but in the world. He said we're going to have to take these teachings and go straighten out our brothers in the East. That's a great work that's going to need to be done. And we're going to have to connect with those other Muslims that are operating under the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and give aid and assistance, because we can't go over there and work on this by ourselves. We got to be among the righteous. So wherever we're at, wherever we go, the Spirit of Almighty God, our identity. And that's what we got to appeal to in order for our message to come across clearly. Therefore, you have to know the prophet's teaching. Peace.
Mama.
Mama.
I learned a lot today. I learned a lot. I'd like to thank our Grand National Shea Mother more time to our mother coach from Texas. She was also Grand Secretary of 271 for instructions in Sunday school. And thank you all for your participation. say we talk about some things, and some things we probably have to go research on our own. You know? And like I went to Sunday school to the guys in the next. I'm telling you, we might be able to instruct them. With that being said, I'm gonna call back to the close of PJ Hill to be the one, and we see our movement and get him in
Son, can I get praise Allah with our universe on to the Holy Prophet, founded this great movement of the Buhari on these men one of you. January 15, 1929, Prophet warns all Muslims governors ordered to read the proclamation of each meeting. I hereby inform all members they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards in your games that causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be a severe consequence. We offer love, truth, peace, and freedom, and when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law, as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their cars, button, cease wearing their turban or fez, and return to the state by the prophet founded. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Buhari. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine faith to all Moors around that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sins by order of prophet Buhari. Peace.
Peace.
Allah the Father universe,
Allah the Father universe,
Father love,
Father love,
truth,
peace,
freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector,
Allah is my protector,
my guide, and my salvation, by night, and by day,
and by day,
through his holy prophet,
through his holy prophet,
through Ali.